Raw superstars have referenced AEW and the recent mass releases from the company as well. There are big plans for a recent NXT call-up, and a title match has been added to WWE Day 1. Andrew, it was all kicking off on Raw last night. So many things happened.
Oh my goodness.
So many newsworthy things. One of them was the return of Edge. Mm-hmm. Another was the return of Miz.
Yep.
But yet another was what happened in the segment between them when they were having a little argument.
Oh my
What
goodness.
was referenced, Andrew?
And
Maurice was there as well.
And Maurice was there as well. What was referenced was the CM Punk MJF promo from Dynamite last week.
When CM Punk told MJF, "You're just a less famous Miz."
Yes.
And everyone went,
it was so good. It was so good.
Yeah. That's it.
Yeah.
That's the news. No.
Thanks, everyone.
So basically, Edge referenced this and said that basically the Miz lives rent-free in people's minds and even has people on other shows mentioning his name for cheap pops. Which I guess it was a cheap pop, but I think it really worked.
Yeah, I think it really did what everybody... I think everyone, even if you weren't in the audience, when that line hit, you were instantly, even if you were sat behind a desk at work like we were like, what's going on? Were you at home?
I was sat next to Fraser when he watched it for the first time. I saw he was about to get to that line and he went like,
See, he's so cool, his Fraser.
So Scottish about it. Bloody hell. That wasn't the only thing referenced in the promo, because Edge also referenced the recent release of John Morrison, telling the Miz, you use this to get notoriety for your next endeavour, for your next reality show, for your next dance competition, while you leave your partners high and dry to get fired. Now, I think that's a bit unfair, Andrew. I think that's a bit of a weird thing to write into the script, and it wasn't the only example of that occurring on Monday Night Raw. What else happened then?
We had Liv Morgan also, so we had a contract signing.
It's not her fault.
It's not her fault.
Like this wasn't Edge's fault.
We had a contract signing between Liv Morgan and Becky Lynch.
Yes.
And Liv was like, it's your big fat contracts is the reason why a lot of my friends are now gone.
All my pals got fired because of you, Becky.
Wow.
Do you know what this reminds me of?
Go on.
When they blame Baron Corbin for Raw not being very good. They're taking a real life thing that people don't like, and they're blaming it on the fictional actions of a wrestler.
Yeah.
It's so bizarre.
It is very, very bizarre. Cheap heat as well,
Yeah, I guess so.
A lot of cheap heat.
Yeah.
Which might be the intention there for WWE. Do you know what though? Like the Edge and the Miz stuff, I quite like that. It wasn't on the level of CM Punk and MJF. I think there were a lot of kind of parallels in that promo between the two.
Definitely.
But I think it still hit very well. The crowd didn't react as much as as what the AEW crowd did.
Yeah.
But I thought it was a pretty good promo.
Yeah, that was pretty good. I'm surprised that they've paired up Edge and The Miz.
Yeah, me too.
But they're both old pros.
They are.
Maybe that's why I'm surprised, because they would have gone at it numerous times surely back in sort of the late 2000s, early 2010s, just before Edge retired. So, but it can still be good.
It can be. It can be.
Also, it was a weird Raw, wasn't it?
It was a strange Raw.
So there were various little segments on last night's Raw as well, which involved Vince McMahon and Austin Theory in Vince's office. The first one was Austin Theory coming in and saying like, how are you? And Vince giving just a weird reply that he'd obviously scripted himself or improvised.
Could have improvised.
Are we going to read it all?
Yeah, we'll read it. Why not? Everybody needs to know.
Do you want to? Should I?
I can do it if you want. So look at this. Tom Campbell just nicely prepping the news here. I'll read what he's
absolutely. We should have Tom made it for us. Then we should.
He's a good boy.
Be warned, this is Vince's.
It's very good.
Verbatim what Vince said.
Are you ready for this?
Yeah.
So in an odd segment, Austin was called into Vince's office. Austin began by asking Vince how he was doing, to which Vince said, I hate that. I hate when people say, how are you, Mr. McMahon? They don't really want to know how I am. They really don't care. I would say, how am I doing? I have irritable bowel syndrome, an ingrown toenail, and earache. That's phony. That's phony crap. What wasn't funny was your championship match last week against Big E. So tonight, you know what's going to happen? Tonight, you're going to sit here in my office and watch the show with me. We're going to take a look to see if anyone expects the unexpected and how they respond to it. Ooh.
No, not ooh. Don't ooh that. Wonderfully written down by Tom. Thank you, Tom.
Yeah, thank you, Tom.
But the don't the quality of the promo. No, because it doesn't even achieve what it sets out to do. Right? It's silly.
Yes.
Right. First of all, it's silly, right?
Yeah, it's silly.
I'm not saying that any of those ailments are silly.
No, of course.
But the fact that Vince is just listing them off because a guy's gone, "How are you?" is silly.
Yeah.
It's also. It doesn't make sense too because he's gone. What wasn't funny was your championship match. I feel like that needs further exploration.
Yeah.
Does he mean I'm proud of the effort you put in against a stronger opponent, or does he mean you lost? And
Well,
for that reason, I'm going to sit you with me and get you to watch the show.
Maybe it's to do with the theme of this whole entire thing, because Vince was like, "You've always got to expect the unexpected." And I mean, maybe the unexpected last week was Austin Theory getting the title shot rather than Sami Zayn.
See, the whole expect the unexpected thing, I was like, why do they keep on bringing up? Because it wasn't the first time that they cut back to them. And
No, there was a few times.
If anyone expects the unexpected. Now, what is that? Why? Well, it turns out there was a joke at the end of the thing.
Literally, do you reckon that was the whole entire payoff for the thing?
Possibly.
It could have been.
Unless you're right, but I didn't even consider that at all. But you're saying that maybe the theme is that, Austin Theory came out of nowhere last week to get the title shot. He is the unexpected. I get that. But then it all paid off because, Austin Theory went for a hug and Vince just slapped him across the face.
He slapped him, yes.
And Austin Theory went, and fell into a chair and went... because nothing is more powerful than a McMahon slap.
You've got a lot to learn, kid, Which insinuates, I think, there's going to be more of this stuff
more
between
skits
Vince and Austin Theory.
Well, that's mighty fine, isn't it?
I mean, it feels like he's picking Austin Theory.
Oh, yeah.
He's a good-looking dude.
I mean, to be fair, he was one of the ones who got called up out of nowhere to Raw during the lockdown, the Performance Center era, alongside Brandon Vink, who's now a Pokemon.
Yes, he is.
But that was all part of it. He was one of Seth Rollins' disciples.
He was, yeah.
So he's been trusted with positions before. Clearly, they like the look of him and his ability and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe this is encouraging, even though he did just get embarrassed on Monday Night Raw.
It's all right.
It's fair enough. Right. A title match has also been announced for Day 1, the WWE pay-per-view on the 1st of January 2022, which is fast approaching.
It is.
Big E will defend the WWE title against Seth Rollins. Wait, that's not all, because...
Are you okay?
I needed to do a little burp, but I didn't do it. I held it in, but now it feels weird.
Right?
He'll defend the title against not only Seth Rollins, but also Kevin Owens in a triple threat match. Now, originally, Andrew, it was meant to be Rollins versus Big E one-on-one, but then things happened on Raw.
They did.
And that led to Kevin Owens being in the match. Can you explain? Because I'm confused. What happened? Owens lied. Or did he not?
So
was Sonya Deville involved?
I'm not entirely sure, but basically I think the premise was if Kevin Owens won, he would get inserted into the match.
Sorry, yes, I've skipped ahead.
Yeah.
Kevin Owens had the main event against Big E.
Yeah.
And if he won, he would have been inserted into the match.
Yes.
But the next bit is where I'm confused, because Rollins went, what? Because Owens told him this backstage, and Rollins was like, that's not true. And he went off and found Adam Pearce, and Adam Pearce went, I've not even seen Kevin Owens all day. Of course that's not true. But then later on it became true.
It became true because so what happened was the match was happening.
No, I know that.
All
right, sorry.
Okay, go on.
No, go for it.
I'm just telling the people.
Actually happened.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, so basically the match was happening. Seth Rollins was on commentary.
Yes.
Throughout the whole entire match, and he was very much like, "Come on, Big E, you win." So then Kevin Owens won't get into this match, and then for some reason. Or I guess storyline-wise, Kevin got into Seth's head, but Seth interjects and starts beating on Kevin Owens.
Kevin Owens started beating up Seth Rollins, provoking him into an attack on him.
There we go.
Owens thereby won by DQ. And then when Rollins realised what he'd done, he was like... and Owens was on the ramp, like, laughing and stuff. But the bit that I don't get... And that's the match, right? It's triple threat for the WWE Championship at Day 1. But... So, right, I'm just going to walk you through what happened. Rollins is backstage. He bumps into Kev. Kev's like, have you heard? If I win the main event, then I'm in the match Day 1. And Rollins is like, no. Goes and finds Adam Pearce. And Pearce is like, that's not true. I've not even seen Kevin Owens all day. So he believes that the stipulation is not true.
Right.
Adam Pearce has told him that. But then I think Sonya Deville was also with Adam Pearce. I think she's like, that's not a bad idea, though. But then later on... He asks Pearce again, And Pierce is like, yeah, sorry, yeah, actually it is true.
Expect the unexpected, Jack.
Oh, shut up.
That's what happens. Expect the unexpected. You see, because also Seth was like, no, when that happened, and Kevin, at the end of it, when he was told, when he heard, hello, ring announcer, yes, it will be a triple threat match at day one. Even Owens was like, oh, nice. Expect the unexpected.
Well, in the heat of the moment, the adrenaline, he's just been beaten up by Seth Rollins. He doesn't quite know what's going on, so he needs that confirmation from the ring announcer.
Hello.
Thank you very much for watching this week's video. There's a lot of news today, actually, so we will be back with more later on this very channel. Do check it out. I've been Jack, this has been Andrew. Stay safe, and we'll see you very soon.